Okay, so in this video I want to talk about a problem with the tattoo industry about diversity. That means you do tattoos on people with dark skin, brown skin, and so on, and just showcase them on the portfolio, show more diversity. And obviously ink mag is a big problem here. For every time they make a list for cute thing, for octopus and other different topics of tattoos, they only show one type of customers, and that is people with have light skin, white people. And so we know that people with dark and brown skin can have different types of tattoos, color tattoos, black and gray, black line work and so on. They always say what kind of way you use with color and so on. So you can absolutely have almost the same style of tattoos, but maybe you have to make some color more darker or background darker, so in contrast. So it's not an excuse, because you can, and this is what I mean. Why it's so big problem? Because, like, for example, this tattoo uh, looks amazing, but it's just black lines, and then you see the background. This is gonna work on person with dark skin, because you can just do the line work and so on. Like, obviously you have to compromise. Obviously, maybe you cannot maybe have some extreme light pink or extreme light purple, or some type of yellow do not work either, because it's kind of misshape, miscolored when this tattoo healed and this kind of thing. But all of these tattoos, everybody can get a rabbit or a bunny tattoo. You just need to, if customers have dark skin, you are okay. One thing that is so important I have to say, one thing I have to say, I think all of these tattoos looks amazing. It's not my style. I think they look amazing. It's not anything, and no criticizing against this. It's just that only thing I'm criticizing here is Ink Mag, because Ink Mag is a big company that is famous for showcasing tattoos in a magazine. They have a very popular YouTube channel. They talk with different tattoo artists. So because of all of the popularity, and many people that like tattoos, like me for example, watch Ink Mag for different reasons. We like to see new tattoos, the interesting talk and this kind of thing. But if you just always show one type of a customers, one type of a client, one type, you don't give chance for diversity in the industry, and that is the problem I have with this. I think if you're an artist, you should be able to work around the problems, to fix the problems, because it's not a hard thing. It's just everything will look better when the tattoo is fresh and new, and something like 3 weeks. Everything, obviously, you have to. It's not hard to think out how to do it. You just use the right colors, use the right line work with the tattoo machine, and this kind of thing. You just need. You do not have lots of white ink in the mixture and so on. Just, for example, you just have to make maybe some part of the shadowing in the tattoo more darker and this kind of thing to make them clearer on people with darker skin tone. So that is my biggest problem. The problem is that because of Ink Mag is so big, so many other tattoo artists look up to Ink Mag, because when the Ink Mag say, okay, if we promote you, that tattoo artist will get bigger because the magazine is so big. So that is the problem. And so about diversity, so I think it's so little diversity with Ink Mag, and this is a big problem. It's an extremely big problem, because we know you can find, for example, dark body art on Instagram. You can find other tattoo artists on Instagram that make color tattoos and tattoos on darker skin tone, and that looks amazing, as good as this picture you see here. And so on. So it's just I don't really understand the problem. It's just extremely bad thing. It's just I don't understand. I hope they fix it soon, that we can see more diversity, because is, I think the more diversity we see from big companies, as for example Inkmag, the more will other tattoo artists be able to change their idea of this kind of thing, because it's just a stupid idea to think that you cannot tattoo people with darker skin tone, and it's still the problem today that some tattoo artists think that way because they have heard of somebody that person had heard something spread this kind of thing, that is false information about this kind of thing. You just need to change some version of the color or change some version of how dark and so on to make it work on the darker skin tone. And it's just, I think it's sad. I just think it's very sad, because I think it's so sad that we have to still be in the same bubble with this kind of problem, that we still have to see just one type of skin tone on showcasing for tattoos. And I just think this is a problem. I think I just think it's a problem, because because I like tattoos. I really like tattoos. The only reason why I talk about this kind of thing, because I like tattoos, is because I think it's much more interesting to see diversity for skin tones than you see one type of skin tone every time. Everything with life is more nicer with diversity. If you only hear the same instrument all the time, you're gonna hate music after a time. You want to hear different instruments. The same for tattoos. You want to see different styles. You want to see different skin tone. You want to see, so I say again, you want to see diversity, and especially for Inkmag, the leading kings, the leading emperors of showing tattoos to make as a mainstream factor is Inkmag, because Inkmag is the biggest tattoo industry. It's almost like it's Playboy but tattoos instead. It's Playboy but with tattoos. That big are they? They're super big, but they still are in the same old thinking ways. They still think the same way. They exactly think like they show one type, and they don't bring up in diversity, and they don't go forward, and they only show, and it's not. It's just. It's a problem. It's just it's because when tattoo artists see this kind of thing, they think, aha. Okay, I still continue with my old thinking way. I'm still gonna tattoo only people with light skin. I'm gonna only put up people with light skin in my portfolio. I don't gonna put up people with dark skin in my portfolio because I don't think they're gonna look good. This is the problem here, because this will look good if you put people with darker skin tone on the tattoo portfolio. You so long you don't try the same. If you have to just make some few differences when you tattoo people with dark skin and people with light skin. Some color you can use exactly the same, or obviously we have little different result, but you cannot. Okay, obviously if you first time do a tattoo on dark skin and you take a very very light pink, obviously that pink will heal horribly, because the dark background is too dark for from other videos, is that the most important thing is your skin, your arm, your leg, your stomach. Obviously, the places, some lighter, some darker, because you have some part of your body have your clothing over that makes it harder for the sun to make it darker, and so on, and your arm and part of your leg. But you have to think that if your background is already darker than the tattoo, you have to make that the first layer of the tattoo is darker than your skin, because then you can see the tattoo. You have to make it better contrast. You have to make different contrast with the tattoo, so you have dark and light and so on, to make it stand up from each other, so you see what part is what. So that is not a problem. It's not hard to do this kind of thing. Maybe it's hard to do the tattoo, to make the line works and so on, this kind of thing, but it's not hard to understand how to do tattoos on people with darker skin tone. Especially every of these tattoo artists here that show tattoos here, are professionals. They are not. They are professional artists. They know exactly how to do tattoos on people. They know exactly what kind of ink to use, what kind of white ink, what kind of line work, everything. They are not amateurs. They are professionals. The only reason why Inkmag put them here is because they are professionals. Inkmag only put up the best tattoo artists in modern styles, or an old style, but in popular style, like fashionable. For obviously this picture of the rabbit is because there's soon Easter and this kind of thing. So I have no problem with the tattoos. I have the problem that is of extremely little thing with diversity. This is the problem. It's not going to be a problem if there's one list, but if every tattoo list they put out, Inkmag put out, is always the same, always just one type of only white people, and you don't show any dark skinned people or any people with brown skin on the list, ever on the list, and you only show one type, is a problem, because I know that is absolutely professional tattoo artists that do tattoos on dark skin tone that you absolutely can put up, because that is a problem. Interesting thing, and even the tattoo artists that have other people, but the interesting thing here is that you show people that have dark skin, that is tattoo artists, when you show the talking videos. But when you come up the list to show people with dark skin that have tattoos, you don't show that. And that is the problem, because you have to make diversity. You cannot. This is just the problem. This is the one part I really sometimes hate with tattoos, in this part, because it's so lack of diversity. It's so lack, and I know, because I myself have tattoos. I know that if you have darker skin, you can have different type of tattoo, but in the same time I know that some color will not work on my skin or people with darker skin tone, and obviously it's because it's many different factors. One is is your skin tone, that is, then you have your undertone, and you have different, if you have orange, red undertone, and then it's obviously how much white ink is in the color, what type of how the color is made, and so on, because you can make blue, green, orange, pink, or purple, and in many different ways to make them work. For example, and this kind of thing, you can take pink and you have more red in the pink, and to make it much warmer color, to make it, and it's still pink mixed with red, so you have pink. So just because the pink you first tried do not work, do not mean that pink do not work. It just means that version of pink do not work on that customer. The same for purple. Maybe normal purple maybe do not work, but then you take red violet, that is purple but with more red in it in the mixture, to make it more warmer. Then you have purple but with red in. The same with yellow. Maybe if you have yellow but in the background of the tattoo is green, that means yellow and green together going to be much more contrast. Then you have black line work around the yellow, then you can see the contrast much more, and so on. So it's always how you work around the problem to fix the problem. That is the solution to go forward with tattoo industry. It's not just that is the way to go forward, to find ways to go around the problem, not to go the easy way, to just take picture of one type of customer and one type of clients, and then you put only that part of on the list and this kind of thing. That is never going to solve anything. Yes, we're going to stay in the same bubble. We're never going to go forward in the problem, and that is the reason why we have to fix this kind of thing, and so on, because it's just how you work around the problem with tattoos. It's not, and I accept if somebody is a beginner. If I cannot tattoo dark skin, I have no clue, but I don't accept when a professional artist say this kind of thing, because example, one of the person that win Ink Master. If you are in Ink Master
and you cannot tattoo that type of a client. You should not even get the price, because if you're an ink master, you should be able to tattoo every tattoo style, tattoo on every type of clients, every type if they have. You should do no problem, because you are a master. The only reason why you are a tattoo master because you should be able to do this kind of thing. But if you only can do one style, you can only tattoo only people with light skin. Why you even get the prize? Then it's no point for you to have the prize, because then means you are not a master. That is, you understand. I'm not a tattoo artist. I'm a person that gets tattoos. I'm a client. I'm not a tattoo artist. That's what I mean is that if you are a professional, if you work to tattoo, you should be able to tattoo every type of skin tone, no problem. It's not okay. I don't want to say this easy, but you have so many ways to find out how to do it on people with dark skin. You can ask other people that are professional in that part. You can look around on the internet. It's not like flying a spaceship. It's not like to work with like different. It's not complicated. It's just a problem. The problem here is just that it's just so lazy. It's super lazy. That is the thing. You don't want to do tattoos on people because you think you want to go the lazy way, and that is the problem with different tattoo artists, that they don't want to change their way, because they think if I always have my life do a flower, I'm still gonna do the same flower with and so on. That is the problem. This is important when you are an artist to evolve, not to stay the same thing all the time, and this kind of thing. So especially, the biggest responsibility I'm gonna put on is Inkmag, because if you promote people with tattoo artists and you make tattoos on dark skin and brown skin and so on, more people will see that, because you are a big holder for the tattoo industry and so on. You're gonna be much more forward. And so don't give me any bad excuse that is hard. It's not hard. If you are professional, this is not hard because you are professional. You have worked as a tattoo artist maybe 60 or 50 years or and so on. It's just a bad excuse. And I don't blame any of the tattoo artists here. I blame Inkmag. The Inkmag here don't promote this kind of thing. Only promote one type of customers on the picture. Because Inkmag, it's not the tattoo artist's fault. It's Inkmag's fault, and we know that Inkmag is not Inkmag is a commercial empire thing for tattoos. It's not. They look what is popular right now. They put in this kind of thing that's popular, and they put in that in their magazines, and because they see what the normal teenager people want to buy in this kind of thing, and they put in different things that people like bicycles, tattoos, hot girls, and so on. They put in things that people want to look at, but they do not show diversity. They just show what is popular. They just want to show one type of the side of the coin. They don't, and that is the thing. And that is a problem, I think, and so on. So I have no problem with the tattoo artists here. They are all of the picture here is amazing, it's super cool. It's just the only problem I have here is lack of diversity of customers. That is the only problem I have, and this kind of thing. So yeah, I can show one more list if I have on Inkmag with tattoos. Okay, I'm not gonna show that. Okay, I can go back. Okay.
Okay, we can show this list. Okay. So there's a second. So here we see a list. You can see again one here. Yeah. So yeah, this is just this is just what I mean. That is lack of diversity of skin tones for when they're showcasing tattoos and this kind of thing. So because it's one thing if you show one list only one type of skin tone. It's one thing. With the different thing with every list so far on this ink mag, you show only one type of skin tone. Then is that what I mean is the problem, because you ignore all the other tattoo artists that have professional and tattoos people with darker skin tone. But okay, I also have to say, to be much clearer on this thing, I don't say that all of these tattoo artists here that is on the list that have put the different tattoos on the list of the people here only have put tattoos on darker skin tone and only put that on the profile. I just that mean that Ink Mag only look at the picture of that portfolio, and they ask, obviously they have to ask the tattoo artist if they're allowed to put it on their list on their site on Ink Mag to showcasing this kind of thing and so on. And some of them obviously work for Ink Mag because Ink Mag is a big company, because they have a lot of things that makes them big. Obviously, they show the like classical trick to make it popular. They have, as I said before, they have bicycle, they have cars, they have the latest hip hopper, they have girls, they have lots of things that teenagers want to see. And the stereotypical things, that is what I want to say. The stereotypical things that makes more people want to look at that, not because they are interesting, but because they are very, very typical. And since I have to say this again, I have nothing against the artist. They are makes a beautiful work, amazing work. It's just irritating that is so lack of diversity of skin tone, not in styles. Because if you look at Ink Mag, they have many different styles. They have different styles how they make a tattoo. You can see on the list every different style. It's just that it's so bad. This is lack of this kind of different. There's a lack of. So when I say diversity, I mean skin tone for tattoos. I don't say that the tattoo artists here that make the tattoos have not brown or dark skin. I just say the lack of the canvas of the client that the Ink Mag show. This is what I mean. What I have the problem with. No, nothing else. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, and we know that black ink works amazingly on people with dark skin. It's just because black ink works on everybody. So just to show this kind of thing, it's just we know that this kind of thing works. It's not a problem. It's just I don't know if somebody can tell me why with good not I don't want to hear any bad explanation. I want to hear a good explanation. If somebody can explain to me why Ink Mag do not want to show
people with darker or brown or so on, that type of skin tone on their showcasing that show why they don't want to show diversity. If somebody can explain to me why this is the case, because InkMag is in America, and we know InkMag have contact with different people in different countries, like in South Korea. Obviously, in South Korea, it's more people very light skin, obviously. But it's not. You can find tattoo artists. You can find tattoo artists in South Africa. You can find good tattoo artists in South America or other places in Africa, other places in Latin America. Is that you can find extremely good tattoo artists that live in North America. For example, one tattoo artist, I totally forgot her name, make super cool tattoos with I think it's Haida or Kalinget styles. When she make it in new ways, she make them in, or she don't make them in the tribal way. She make them in new fashionable ways, but it's still Haida style. But for example, that is what I mean. Just because you make example new Japanese style do not need to be Japanese. You can make that thing in Japanese style, but you have totally. You can make example. You can make for example, you make a Aztec temple with a priest sacrificing prisoners on the temple. But you make it in Japanese style, like the way they make it, the black clouds, all this kind of thing. In Japanese style. So just because they have a name, just because it's come from one country or one culture, do not mean that thing have to stay in the same blue bed or blue bubble. You can make the same bubble with different color. Just because they have, I hope you understand what I mean. What I mean, so simple way, you can make just because the name of the style say Japanese do not need to be Japanese. Just the style, the traditional, the classical style is originally from Japan, but they don't have to be based on samurai or nine-tailed fox or ninjas or onis or other Japanese spiritual things. They just the style is originally from Japan, and these kind of things. You can make amazing cool things with different tattoo styles, but you can example, you can make them, you can mix styles, you can take inspiration for other things that have nothing with the culture to do, but you can take the inspiration of the style, but you can make it totally different. For example, with music, you can make a rap. You can make, for example, you can make a rap. You can take the same style of a. If you look at and read lyric, for example, lots of political rap have many similarities with some political heavy metal music. The only difference here is that how you play the music with the same meshes. The same meshes how you show for the people and this kind of thing. And this is the same thing what I mean with tattoos. It's just to show different diversity. It's also how to just it's also just to make a difference. Obviously, you just have to go around the problem and this kind of thing, and so on, and this kind of thing. So here, okay, so I can show every list. Okay, and this kind of thing. So here, and yeah, so you already know what and this kind of, I have no problem with the tattoo artist. I have no problem with I only have the problem with lack of diversity for the skin tone, nothing else. So remember that is the most important thing. So don't say something stupid in the comment section. It's just this kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah, so this is just like I think uh, if the tattoo artists do not need to be a famous artist or super talented to make tattoos on different cost clients. They don't just have to be willing to take the risk to do a tattoo. For example, first time ever I get example a black and gray tattoo. My tattoo artist tell me after the tattoo was done, he was very surprised at that work, because I think it's important to that if you learn from your mistake. The more mistake you do, the more experience you will get in the future. But if you only tattoo one type of skin tone, and you do it and do it and do it and do it, and you never learn what will happen with that color and so on people with dark skin. You're just gonna see the same result every time because you have the same customers. The same way, for example, if you paint, if you only paint with one type of a brush, and you have one type of let's say one type of a paper, you're gonna only be used to that. You not if you paint different materials, you use different brushes, you will have much more experience in art form, because that is the way to evolve in this kind of thing. That is exactly the same with tattoos. Different machines are made for have different purpose. How you make how you use the machine. Some machines gonna do much clearer line works, and some machine. And the same thing is that some dark skin and some people with brown skin and so on, you have to be maybe you have to maybe be more careful in some point. You maybe have to make more like a puzzle different, and and remember, you can find different things. For example, if you look right on YouTube, color tattoos and how to tattoo people with darker skin tone, you can find lots of good videos, like different tattoo classes and so on YouTube, explain how a tattoo artist do this kind of thing, how to make through how the tattoo works. And for example, I remember, for example, the first time ever I used a tattoo with when I get a tattoo with two different colors, black and red, was 11 years ago, and it's still there. It's still on my body. It's not have vanished. It's still there, and that was long before even I have knowledge of, even I know this kind of thing. I would just say I have just black and red, and this kind of thing. And sometimes you will get most of the time gonna be working. Sometimes you can be unlucky and you choose a color that do not work. For example, like for me it was purple and yellow. But you can always find a solution to a problem. For example, now I know if I have a background that is a different background, that's black or so, this kind of thing, and I have purple, then purple will work. It's just how you everything you can. It's easy to fix a problem so long you are willing to fix it. But and this kind of thing, it's just you have just to look around the problem. It sounds very silly to say this kind of thing, but it's just this kind of thing. It's just a lazy thing to do, to just show one type of client and this kind of thing and this kind of thing. And obviously yeah, so yeah, so yeah, I can look back. You can show me. You can go to my YouTube channel. If you go like this, I can show myself. For example, I can show here. For example, here my latest tattoo. Talk about this. This kind of thing. Okay, so here on this video you see the side where it say new tattoo and the side that say heal tattoo. You can see That is the only differences here is that on the also how you take the picture. If you take the picture inside when it's dark, because when this picture was taken it was in oh, some months ago, and in the summer you can see here is the tattoo is much lighter, obviously because it's much lighter outside on the day and on the night and this kind of thing, and also what more in the winter. So this is in the winter and this is in the autumn, and this kind of thing. So you see here new, that means that tattoo have not yet healed, the scabs is still there. This is mean healed, that is the tattoo is totally done, everything that have healed and so on. So you can see here is that this the same tattoo. It's just the color is a bit lighter on this side than is on this side and so on. Okay. So you can see this kind of thing. So this is just what I mean. It's just if you use the right colors, you have the, if you see you see the background here. You see that the background is a bit lighter than the tattoo. So you can see obviously because the tattoo is darker. Obviously it's a different contrast. Like you have the magenta, you have the turquoise blue, and you have the black line works and so on. So you see that is different contrast. You can see what is what. You can see where it's up, what is down, and so on. And you see the same for when the tattoo is have healed, and so on. So I can show different other. For example, this one. You can see here is my Haida frog. You can see here there's different colors, and you can see. Let's go back a bit. Again. Okay, here. Obviously, you can see here that the green leaf, the yellow leaf, the orange leaf, and obviously the big red leaf on his back. You can see this tattoo is 3 years old. It's not as old as my tattoos. That's 11 years old, but this is the first tattoo ever I have with many different colors. And you can see, you still see the yellow. The only thing that is hard to see here is the purple. So you can, on this line was purple, and also they were trying a new version of purple with darker. It's not. So obviously I know, in some ways I know that purple, especially that purple from Ink Eternal, do not work on my skin, and because every ink is made in different ways and so on, and this kind of thing. But obviously you can always have this kind of thing where you can still see the colors, and obviously if you make the tattoo bigger, it's easier to see it. For example, I can show and this kind of thing. So you obviously can see this kind of, you can always see this kind of thing. You just have to make them much bigger to make easier to see. For example, I can show this one. Okay, so obviously here you can see one of my tattoo. You see here that is you have lime green, you have red, you have black, you have tropical teal here, and you have magenta. So you see, obviously tropical teal is extremely light, but it's still a bit green in it that make it stronger on the skin. It's not as strong as normal turquoise blue, that is darker version of tropical teal, that turquoise blue, because that is much, you see much clearer. But you can still, this tattoo is also like 2 years, like it's still there. You can clearly see the tattoo. You can see that is a wasp. Obviously it's a fantasy wasp. You can see where the color are, because the different contrast, because you have the contrast, you have the complementary colors, because red and green is complementary colors. You can see what is what and so on. And obviously this kind of things, you just have to find the solution and to fix the problem and all this kind of thing, and this kind of thing to make it go forward and this and so on. So yeah, this is what I mean. It's not a problem. It's just lack of diversity when Inkman show this kind of thing. I can show better picture. So here is my tattoo, this tattoo, when it's 100% healed on the skin, and you see here, you can see clearly that this here is turquoise blue with mixed with some more green in it. You can see the black line work here. You see everything. For example, if I go like this, you can. It's not hard to see, and this kind of thing. Obviously my skin is not the darkest, but then you just if the background you see here is if the color is stronger than the background, obviously the color will the tattoo will be much clearer on the skin, and you can see much easier. If you have darker skin, you just have to make the color much brighter and much stronger to make it. For example, you have red, black background and red, or red background to black, and this kind of thing to put the layers to make them stronger together, to make them easier to see. It's just fine solution. This is what I mean. Here I can show a tattoo that is black and gray. That's also my tattoo. You can see here black and gray, and you see this is part of you see the skin tone, green, lime green, line work. You can see it perfectly. It's not a problem. You can see it. It's easy to see because the tattoo is big. You can see here's my skin around the tattoo, and this kind of thing. So you see everything, and so on. I can show it. I can try to show another one. And show. Here. So here is my tattoo. Okay, well, obviously this is an extremely bad picture of this tattoo. Extremely bad. Better one. No. Okay. Okay. So here I show my tattoo. Okay. So here you can see up here is the tattoo when the tattoo was taken in this tattoo studio. You can see here that inside the mouth of the tattoo and around the eyes and hair, it looks like this some red violet. It's not red violet, it's magenta. And magenta is the name of the version of that magenta is like a raspberry because the color looks like a raspberry color. So when the tattoo healed, it's more like this, very like very reddish, pinkish kind of coloring, like a raspberry. And this kind of, so you see the differences with the color around the eye. The color here is obviously it's the same color. The only thing is just makes the differences. So that is also a bit interesting that you get this one with the color change, because when the tattoo heals, but you still have vibrant colors. Obviously this picture under is not the best, obviously, because you see the turquoise blue, and turquoise blue is clearly on the skin, like it's not a problem with this kind of thing. And it's the same with magenta and green and orange, and you can make orange more. You can make orange more reddish orange. I'll name it tangrid. You can make. You have so many different colors you can use on darker and brown skin tone, and you make black and gray tattoos, and you make black work, and this kind of thing. It's not a problem. And okay, we can get information. So yeah, so here is the new me that I not yet healed. Here is the healed one, and yeah, so the same thing. Yeah, so this is what I mean is that if I go. So here I can show my tattoo tour video. So we see here I show my tattoos,
if we go, yeah, this kind of thing.
So this one first.
Okay, so obviously the first part of this video was very hard to film. The first big tattoo, the frog on my leg. I'm gonna show it. So here is the first ever black and gray tattoo. Wait, sorry for that. Okay. Okay. So obviously you have to forgive me because the picture is not, the filming is not the greatest. But you can see here this black and gray. It's kind of a similar mythical Persian mythical creature, but there is my own twist to it. So it's like a dragon tail with lions, like the top of the lion's tail. You can see scale, you can see the wing, you can see a tiger head, you can see like it's a mixture of like a kind of dragon and tiger in the style. So here you can see my tattoo. That is one of my newest tattoos, and that is, you can see, is a tiger. If I go back a bit, so it's like two tattoos with inspiration with the tiger. Tiger is my favorite animal. So you can see here, you can see that is okay, obviously, yeah, here. So you see this green, you see this orange, this turquoise blue, it's dark purple, like tiger strip. You see this black shield with a red logo. So you see, obviously the picture here is extremely bad when obviously because it's not the best, but you can. I hope you can see that you can see this green. So you see all this kind of thing on my tattoo. So obviously, and this tattoo was done in the summer, but obviously be outside. So you can, obviously the color will get changed obviously, because if you have, on my skin tone, when you have green, it's much better to have darker version of green, for example, dark version of lime green, to make it, then when it heal, will be much clearer on the skin, to have a very light green, and so on, and this kind of thing. So yeah, so okay, so obviously here, so I showed, so you can see all these kind of colors. And here is the yeah, so you see all this kind of thing, and you see the green, you can see turquoise blue, and now the other one. And here also you can see this is that we showed before. This you can turquoise blue, you can see magenta. You can, so you see, and then this is one of my oldest tattoo. This tattoo is like it's very extreme bad, extremely quickly. Like, so here is the one, the tattoo that is 11 years old, the Haida Sun. So you can see the yeah, it's extremely bad video. And so you see, so fast filming. So you see all this kind of thing. You see you can see that I have black tattoos. I have black and gray. I have color tattoos. All this kind of thing you can see clearly is not a problem with this kind of thing. So yeah, and this kind of thing, tattoo again, you see this kind of thing. So it's very clear to see because you have right, so it's not a problem. So when you get tattoos, you have a darker skin tone, you have brown skin tone, it's not a problem. You can absolutely have tattoos with color or black and gray or black work and so on. It's just that the industry just want to show one type of clientele. That is the problem. It's not, yeah, this kind of thing. So, and obviously this is okay. The video. Okay, we can stop here. So the video is extremely bad, obviously, because I film it very wingly with the camera. So obviously that is the big problem. So obviously it's really, I'm probably gonna do take away this video, this one with tattoo tour, and make a new one, but try to be much more stable with my hand when I'm filming with the mobile camera, to make it much more easy to people. I can understand when people get, it's very hard to see if you watch this video on the TV, you see all the camera flimming right back and forward, you see nothing. I see it my right self right now, and it's it's not it's not good video at all with this filming, and obviously so you get much better picture, much better filming if you're filming on when it's day and outside, and the camera is more stable, so to show much more clear this kind of thing. Yeah, so this is everything I really want to say about this kind of thing. Yeah, I hope you like it, and yeah.